Well, good morning. It is the 20th of February, and as every long-distance hiker knows, on a zero or a Nero day, you have to take care of all those things that you have to take care of, and it ends up sort of being a full-time thing. And no, I'm not talking about a visit to the head shop here. I'm talking about a visit to the laundromat. So I was able to get my laundry in, and waiting on that, and then drying it, and then I'm going to be going out to the trailhead again. And it's going to be just a few miles. It's going to be a Nero day, but it's okay because I was able to sort of sleep in this morning, get a good rest. I've got my resupply all done, and going to be trucking on later today as soon as I get my laundry done. And I'll show you some video once I get out to the trailhead. I'm going to make a short little clip here about shoes and boots. My first rule of advice to people on shoes and boots is never take anyone's advice on shoes and boots, because nobody knows your feet. Unless you get advice from a podiatrist, no one can tell you what's the best model and make a shoe for your feet, your stride, your knees, your ankles, your toes. Do you have a heel strike? Are you an overpronator? Etc., etc., etc. So don't take anybody's advice. But you should look into lacing. And I'm not going to digress here. You can look up videos on lacing, but I just want to show you something here. This is what I do when I have Keens, and I've learned this from experience. I have wide toes and big toes. So see my right foot here? The laces don't go all the way down to the end. I've removed them so I got lots of room for my toes to wiggle around in there, and so I don't get blisters. The one on the left is the standard lacing. I just haven't modified it yet. One of the other, so if you have problems sort of in your toes, something you might want to check out, how to do the lacing. One of the advantages of having a two-car method is I have extra gear. So I was wearing my waterproof Keen boots because I was expecting a lot of ice, which I got, and I was going to be wearing micro spikes. You can wear micro spikes with this too. They're just not as comfortable. But I'm not expecting as much ice in the northern part of the Smokies as I had in the southern part of the Smokies, so I'm going to swap out, and this is actually a brand new pair of Ultras. So these are Lone Peaks, which I like as well. Okay, enough for this clip. Okay, back on the AT. I'm here at Davenport Gap, got 31 miles or so back to Newfound Gap, where the last car is now waiting. I kind of have to stay at the next shelter here. There's Shelter Beyond is closed because of bear activity. I think it's been closed for a while. So there's sort of like a big gap there where you can't go. You can't camp. I mean, you obviously go there, but so just have like a mile or so up to the shelter, and then probably do some repair on my gear. I'm going to put some tenacious tape on top of my tent. I tried seam sealing it a few days ago. Haven't had a chance to use it in the rain. Haven't had a chance to use it, but it occurred to me I do have a little bit of tenacious tape, and I might be able to put it on that ridge line that was leaking. Yeah. Anyway, so the next 2 days going to be 15-mile days to the car, kind of how it works out with the shelters. And at least one of those days is supposed to be kind of rainy all day. So we'll see how it goes. This is Davenport Gap. I'll probably be the only one here. It's not sundown yet. Probably got another hour. Someone might come rolling in. There's no place to tent here. I mean, it's just crazy slopey here, so going to be in the shelter no matter who shows up. What I did want to show you, though, is a little field repair that I did just now. It's not very good, but, you know, there it is. So for those of you who remember, a week or 10 days ago, had a very wet night in which the ridge, there was a drip from the ridge line of my Z-Pax duplex. And this, I probably have 100 nights in this tent, maybe a little bit more. So I had some tape. I didn't have as much as I would like, but I taped this in the middle where it sags the most. And I'm going to take a care. I did notice that when I had it pitched that night, it sort of created a little, right along the ridge line, believe it or not, a sort of valley where the water just kind of sat. And so I think it just seeped through the seams. I had previously seam sealed up near the cup ends where you put the trekking pole. In inspecting it, I kind of think that isn't where the leak was coming from. So anyway, I'm not sure that seam sealing did much good. And if I had, well, next time I'm with my seam sealant, maybe if I have a 0 day, maybe I can, finish the rest with some liquid seam sealant. Okay, I'm going to close out the day. You know, it was only like 1 mile or something like that, plus a mile from where I parked. So not much, but it's kind of the only option that I had today as far as sleeping at the park. Good day, though.